Hi, everybody. So I'm going to make this video just a kind of overview of AWS Educate and how it can be used for an educator at the high school or college level, or as a student at the high school or college level. So I'm going to start first on the educator role. So if you're an educator wanting to utilize AWS Educate resources, because you are teaching a computer science class, or maybe an even IT class, cybersecurity class, something related to tech. And I think AWS Educate might have a resource for you. So I'm going to kind of navigate through the AWS Educate portal. Now, I am as I've talked about before, I am an AWS Educate Cloud Ambassador, so my interface is going to look a little bit different. But for the most part, you should be able to find the content that I'm going to be instructing fairly easily. So I'm going to go ahead and move this down. So the first part we're going to kind of focus on is the content. So as an educator, you're trying to make sure that you're teaching your students content that is relevant and current for the field that what their class is in, or you want to also hopefully find things that they might have an interest in. You want to help spark that interest. See what they're excited about, see where their interests are kind of going naturally, and see how you can kind of fan the flame, so to speak, of what it is that they're trying to learn. So here is a content repository that you can use to explore open source content contributed by educators and AWS. And there's full courses and lectures to assignments and more. All content has been reviewed by the AWS Educate team, so you can search by keyword or specialty. And so on the left-hand side, you can see the filters. So you can see if you're looking for an activity, a course, or a module. If you're looking for something that meets cloud degree approval, you can check that box. You can do categories, and you can do skills. So let's say and then also if we go down here, you can click on, you got to click down in there. If you have a specific kind of AWS service, if you're familiar with AWS, and if you want to focus on, say, S3, you can filter it down based off the criteria. So say you're teaching a cybersecurity class, and you can see when it was last updated, and this was just last month, so it's current. And you can see, it's about an hour long. You can click on Cybersecurity Educator Guide, and it also shows that it's cloud degree approved, and it goes through a description. The author is AWS Educate. Some of the topics that we'll be covering is security, cloud computing, cloud architecture. It was created last month, we saw earlier. It is a hands-on activity, which is always great. The level is beginner, which is great. Let's see. The skills is the impacts on cloud computing. And the services, again, if you're more familiar with AWS, which is not a requirement, this is going to the services that they will be utilizing are IAM, Identity and Access Management, in S3. So if you click up here to the top, you can click Add to Favorites, Download Summary, or Download. The download, I can't remember the file type, but one thing it's ICS, but it's compatible with a lot of popular LMS systems like Blackboard and Canvas. And I'm sure there's other ones, honestly, I don't know off the top of my head. But I believe after you download it, you're able to upload it with your LMS. Let's see. No, I'm sorry. Okay, that download button was the PDF. I'm sorry. That's my bad. So let's open up this PDF. So the educator guide, it's a cybersecurity specialist, talks about what the need for cybersecurity specialists and the purpose of it, talks about the objectives. So this is a content that you can utilize in your syllabus and your learning objectives and such. Let's see. It's also about the instructional use cases, can be in-class discussion, individual assignment, a group project, self-paced learning with AWS Educate. So you can read below to review the course subject, the course project information that you will share with the students. So the student instructions explore the following activities and answer the scenario-based questions to the best of your ability. Okay, so there's a scenario, the challenge, and then there's the answer. And then if there's any kind of activity that you want to tie into it, you can utilize that as well. Okay, so that's pretty much it for that. And that's just one. You saw the variety of lessons that they had on the left-hand side, or the filters, the activity, the course, the modules. You can, filter it down based on what you need. I personally teach more web and app development courses, so I'm going to click on that. So again, this gives me very similar information and about the services that we'll be utilizing, which is nice. I have my certification with AWS, and I'm working on my next one. So, I'm more familiar with the services that are out there, but it's nice that even as someone who has certification, it's nice to see the breakdown and the specificity of the things that we're going to be covering. So you can see that there's plenty of opportunities, whether it's cybersecurity or web, and that's just two that I pulled up in the last few minutes. Again, you can download the summary. I think this is probably just another download, two ways of doing the exact same thing. And let's see. And you can add to favorites, which I'm going to do because I haven't done it yet. I think this was recently released last month. So that's pretty much the content portion of it. So we're going to continue on with another video focusing on classrooms and credits, professional development, and whatnot. So I hope you had some good takeaways from this, and please let me know if you had any questions. Thank you.